Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Alpha E-Mind Masteries United Earth Angels Series, episode 19. Yes, Sandy Jo's with us, but she's just occupied at the time, and she will be jumping back in for the episode in a little bit. Tonight, I want to welcome you guys. We're going to be talking about unconditional love. Yes, we are. But before we get started, guys, there's a lot of great things coming up that I have to share with you. All right. First, I have to say a special thank you to everybody who has joined the new Alpha E-Mind Mastery Empowering You group. Please join us there if you haven't already. There are loads and loads of experts there, and I opened the group yesterday, and we already have 81 members. And I'm so proud of that. Yes, and I invite you all to bring your expertise and your knowledge and your wisdom. And it is a safe space where people can be authentically them and come. And everything in that group is empowering for you. It'll make you feel stronger and better. Okay? Guys, so I welcome you tonight to episode 19. It's Unconditional Love. And you know what? I'm seeing Andy for... Oh, she said her daughter needs her. She's sorry. That's okay, Andy. Do what you got to do. Okay, guys. So tonight, well, guys. Oh, I guess she left the episode. Guys, Epic Legendary Summit and Boot in the Ass Summit. Register. Link is in the comments. You know, it's not what it seems to be. The Epic Legendary Summit is for the best of the best in online business, okay? Michael Whitehouse has brought together some amazing speakers to bring you guys all kinds of knowledge and wisdom. So I encourage you guys all to find the link in the comments and to register for both summits. You got the Epic Legendary Summit, which is the best in the best of online business. And you have the Boot in the Ass Summit, which I'm going to be co-hosting with Michael Whitehouse. Yes. And if it's only me, maybe I should change my screen while I'm here. Why not, right? There we go. Bring it a little down, you know, so you guys can see the logo and everything. All right. And what else do we have going on here? Guys, whether Andy's here or not, I want you guys to look out for her LinkedIn room. She does an audio room every Tuesday night, okay, because she's just published a book on how to manage being a boy mom. So check out her LinkedIn audio rooms every Tuesday night. And also, you're going to find her book launch on August 22nd coming up. So guys, look out for that, okay? Also, and what else do I have here on the menu to tell you guys all about tonight before we get on with the episode? All right, so guys, you can find our books. Search for our books in the bookstore at lulu.com. Okay, you can search Tobi Staples and Andy Jo Ford. All right, so let's get into it. Who am I? Well, let me tell you a little bit about me. All right, so those who don't know me, my name is Tobi Staples. Yes, what do I do? You know, I narrowed down my niche today. Yes, I did. And I support spiritual warriors, that are feeling conflict, confusion, and chaos, back to feeling calmness, clarity, and into a vibrant state. Yes, I do. Okay. A vibrant state of being and living on purpose and with intention. That's what I do. Alpha E Mind Mastery is all about living from your higher energetic mind. In other words, you're not moving through life with distortion within your being or within your life, or confusion and chaos. And you can find your flow. What do I mean by flow? You're feeling your love over worry. And it ties into the topic tonight of unconditional love, big time. You know, we have all been conditioned and trained and taught to love according to conditions. No matter what your name is, no matter your credentials, no matter what you were born into, it doesn't matter. Not at all, actually. You were taught to love by condition, even to love yourself by condition. What do I mean? Well, how many of us sit there and rip ourselves apart? We nitpick at our own self. We beat ourselves up. We people please. We don't accept parts of ourselves. That's loving yourself with condition. Well, if this would happen, well, then I could love myself more. Or if that could happen, then I could do this and love myself more. Or if this didn't happen to me, well, then I would be like this. Or if that didn't happen to me, well, then I wouldn't be like this. Nah, that's all conditional based love. And that's how you love yourself and everybody else in your life until you no longer do. Yeah, until you figure out a better way. Well, what's the better way? Wow. Take a look at your loving capacity. Because there's a direct correlation to how you love yourself, in which you hold the capacity to love another person, no matter who you are. So if you're nitpicking and pulling yourself apart, well, that's what you're doing to another. Everything starts within our own being. There's nothing that anybody is doing to you more than what you're doing to yourself. Everything stems down to what you're doing to yourself, no matter what it is. There is nothing more accountable for your being than your own being. Initially, when you were born, you knew what unconditional love was because you were born in that state of being in a state of unconditional love. You were a bouncing ball of joy until life experience and anybody raising you or interacting with you, or school or society, or whatever it is that has been installed into your patterns, has disrupted the unconditional love and the flow of it through you. Yes. Before your name, before your beliefs, before your expectations, before your shame, blame, guilt, denial, before your anger, your fear, your judgment, your non-acceptance, your avoidance, your love first. But you see, what happens is within that shame, blame, guilt, denial, judgment that you store within your being according to life experience, well, your unconditional love also fuels that into your existence. Very much so. That's the cause of pain, anxiety, depression, confusion, sleepless nights, doubt, denial, avoidance. You know, your brain is going to do that to you to protect you from what's stored in it if it believes that you can't handle it. Because that's what the brain's job is to do. It is to protect you. It is to manage all of your organs, literally without any kind of conflict, chaos, or confusion within it. It's programmed to do that for you automatically. You don't have to think about these things. No. But the one thing you do have to start thinking about is whether you're loving yourself unconditionally or not. How can you tell? Well, are you anxious? Are you depressed? Are you feeling less than? Are you feeling unmotivated? Are you feeling like you're just surviving? Are you feeling like you're in a state of chaos within your own being? Do you feel confused about who you are? Are you in conflict with everything in your life? Are you in a state of fighting everything in your life? Are you in a state of running from everything in your life? Because that tells you everything. This is what you have to look at. And if you've said yes to any of the above, I hate to be the one to tell you, but I must. You're not loving yourself right. And that's what it all comes down to. You've been conditionally loving yourself and your experience and basing everything on good or bad. There is no good or bad. It's all relevant to your learning and your life experience. Yes, life has us conditioned to operate a little bit hiccuped until we face it. And we can love ourselves enough to get realigned with the unconditional love that is sourcing our life. You see, it's not like people can say that they're not a loving person. And that's why I have the capacity to find the good in everybody, no matter who they are and what their life experience is, because I've found the unconditional love within me. And I can love myself without condition. It is not based on anything else but the love that's fueling me, no matter what. There is no person, place, situation, circumstance, scenario, interaction that will govern whether I am a loving being or not. No, that's dependent on my flow, my vibe, my clear passage of the source of my life, my essence that's running through all of my organs, fueling my existence. That is the force of life. Well, that is the same unconditional love and the state that you were born in. Yeah, no matter who you were, no matter who you are, it doesn't matter. But since then, you've been taught, well, you had to people please. Why? Well, because from when we started to see disappointment in the faces of our parents, for no matter what it is that we were doing, we wanted to please them. And we wanted them to feel joyous again with us, because it was a distortion to our state. You see, that's where the people-pleasing actually patterns set in, is because we want and need to please our parents, trying to achieve that same coddling and approval and love and affection that we received as an infant. And you're constantly chasing that for the rest of your life, no matter who you are, is that same unconditional love and flow and peace of it all within yourself, factually. And this is why you really have to realign with unconditionally loving yourself. Why would you not love yourself? Well, the answer to that question would be because you've been trained to believe that it wasn't something okay to do. How did that happen? Well, how many of us endured our parents telling us that we had to act a certain way when, let's say, we went to church? And how many people had to endure our parents telling us when we went to our grandparents' house, oh, you got to act like this, or they're not going to approve of you, or you're not going to be liked? Or how many of us suffered our parents telling us, oh, you're too much, you're too loud, go find something to do, oh, you annoy me, every time you open your mouth, it's shh, 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 shh. Many of us did. Many of us were told, don't speak unless you're spoken to. Many of us were told, don't air out your dirty laundry. We have been conditioned to absorb the pain and run with it. That's not loving ourselves. How many of us were told that we were loved no matter what in this lifetime as a child? Think about that one. How many of us were shown any affection after we started running around and started to be blamed and shamed and guilted for the exact things that we were meant to do as children. You got to look at that. And it's okay that it happened. But once you know better, you function better for yourself and for every single person attached to you by choice, on purpose, with intention. Because when you realize how unloving the patterns were that were installed in us primarily to operate from, you're going to realize how badly there's a need to correct them. But how many of us run throughout our life remaining confused and in conflict and in chaos within our own beings, not feeling loved, not feeling approved of, not feeling heard, validated, accepted? Do you know what would have happened to you if you felt that when you were born? You would have died. If you weren't nurtured and loved and shown compassion and caring when you were born, you would die. So that's why once you start in the toddler stage, it's such a disruption and a distortion to the coddling phase of being an infant. There's a huge distortion. And how many of us even had our own children still believing that babies don't know anything? Well, you see now the change of that, how brilliant children are should they be given the knowledge. But let's be real also too. Our kids turn out exactly to the magnitude of which we've invested in them. Nothing more, nothing less. If you do not take time to teach these children unconditional love and be an example of it, for them to witness it, they will not know it. How do I know? I never knew love until I was spiritually awakened. All my life. And that's not a pity party on my part, trust that. But that's how bad I had the need to be loved in this lifetime, is that I had to go within to find it, because everything external was so unloving. And when I had realized that for myself, there was nowhere to go except for within. Yeah. Well, going within and correcting all of those patterns that I'd been installed with liberated me from them. And I encourage you all to do it, because today I sit here in a state of unconditional love for myself and for the whole world, because I've found the universal love that fuels each and every one of us. Yeah, within myself. But we all have it. We're never disconnected from it. We are made to believe we are. And we are made to believe that we are our name, and we are our patterns and our programs and our experience. But we're the farthest thing from that. Do you know how powerful you are as a human being? Do you know how much energy every one of your atoms and your cells holds within your body? What do you think fuels all that? It's unconditional love. What do you think runs your kidneys? What do you think runs your breathing capacity? What do you think makes your heart tick? It's the electrical frequency of love, universal love, and the power of it, and all the capacities of it. Perfect design. This is the love that can heal you. Yes, this is the love that knows exactly what it needs to do. No distortion. And within that type of love, there's no shame, no blame, no guilt, no denial. No, everything's one. Everything is one and bound by love. Yes. And every single one of us walking on the planet is a divine expression of this love. Yes. Every single one of us. You know, when I ask you what woke you up this morning, what would you tell me? Really? Would you tell me it was one of your pets? Would you tell me it was your alarm clock? Would you tell me that it was one of your kids? Would you tell me that it was your busy schedule? Well, my response to all of that would be no. It's the unconditional love that's fueling you that woke you up this morning and gave you life, gave you the capacity to do everything during your day. But are you honoring that unconditional love that's fueling you? Because when you're tapped into that and aligned with it within your own self, because that's where it stems from, it's got nothing to do with anybody else. It's fueling you for your experience. And it's definitely not telling you that there's anything wrong with you, or that you're not good enough, or that you need some approval. The universe approved of your existence by giving you life. That's the only approval you need. Yes. But to be in alignment with that force of fuel that's fueling you for this existence, well, you have to rid yourself of everything that doesn't belong within it. Simply. If we're frequency first, and that's a frequency running through you, and it's a state of your being, well, everything else that you choose to contain within yourself by choice is a distortion to it. And these are the things that we've been trained to hang on to. How? In the early phases of life, we've been told, listen, 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 listen. No, 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 no. Oh, don't. Oh, you're going to hurt yourself. Oh, you're going to hurt yourself. Oh, okay. It's happened to all of us. You know, how many people have lived their life fulfilling the expectations of everybody else but themselves? Gotta say it. I know I did. I was one of the biggest people pleasers on the planet because I never felt loved. And I thought that's what I had to do to be loved. That's why I am the way I am. A lot of people say, oh, she's gruff, she's aggressive. No. I flow from a very powerful state of love that I've embodied for myself by choice. There's no anger in that. There's no fear in that. Yes, I can get irritated by the energies that have to flow through me, but it's as simply as flows through me. There's no relevance to me. It's just an experience, and all is for learning. That's all it is, because I love myself enough to allow it to be just that. You know, we have to get past everything that has been put in our way to limit us as human beings. And nobody did this on purpose or intention. They just didn't know any better. But now, with all the research and all of the encouragement and options and empowerment and everything that is brought to you guys, there's no excuse anymore to stay ignorant. What is the meaning of ignorant? To ignore the truth and facts of what's fueling you. Don't stay ignorant to the unconditional love that's giving you life and the capacities of it. There's clarity and calmness and harmony and balance within that all the time, no matter what. Where the conflict, confusion, and chaos comes from is from your own belief systems that they exist. Yeah. And all of those things that you've been made to believe about yourself. Like you have to be a certain way to be loved. And you have to conform to fit in. And it's not good to, if you don't comply. Is that loving to you? I don't think so. That's why I consider myself to be one of a kind. I'm not looking to people please. I did that all my life. I'm not looking to seek approval. No, I'm not. I never had that all my life. I come out here and I show you guys how real and raw it really is. And no matter what I've lived, I've come back from it all with the capacity to love myself unconditionally and flow from that state. Feel love over worry no matter what, without any expectations or any, no, I live selflessly as a vessel of universal love. Yeah. That Tobi, who she was constructed to be, she's healed and whole now. That person doesn't exist. That was a person that was running on patterns of pain, trauma, anxiety, depression, guilt, numbing it all with alcohol and addictions. No, I'm no longer that person. I learned how to love myself. That's what did it. Especially when nobody on the planet was loving me right ever. And I feel the difference now. Loving myself right. I love myself to the point where I don't care who's loving me, because that's on me. And that abundant universal love and the wealth of it is the true wealth on the planet. Yes, it is. That's when your cup is truly overflowing, is when you've rid yourself of all of the restrictions and distortions in your flow of unconditional love. It's not some state that you need to acquire like everybody's made you believe. You got to go and meditate for a month to get this state. You got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this to acquire it. No, that's all bullshit. You have it from the get-go. You have heart and brain coherence from the jump. That is your most powerful state. Why you've been out of alignment with that is because you started to believe your name, your experience, and what every single person in your life told you to be right. Well, you're old enough now to love yourself unconditionally, no matter what your experience has been. And I encourage you to do so by taking a good look at all of the things that you do not love about yourself. And ask yourself, why do you feel this way about any of it? Well, when I did that analyzation, I understood where that all came from. You see, the inner work is serious, but you got to love yourself enough to do it, to allow yourself to flow freely from that loving state because you deserve it. That's your most abundant state. Yeah, it truly is. And you're supposed to be authentic to that state first, not your name, not your credentials, not all this fictitious stuff that you have in your life to create meaning and relevance for you. No. We're all love first, and the frequency of it. Now, whether you are operating from that state or you are flowing distorted from it, well, that is unique and individualized to you. But I highly suggest that if you're in a state of conflict, confusion, and chaos within your own being or outside in your own life, it's time to fix that. More so now than ever. Guys, I've been talking about the energetic frequency amplification on this planet. And anybody connected to me has heard a lot about it. We just had the peak of the Lionsgate portal the other day. The Lionsgate is still not closed. It's going to close at the end of August, or even somebody said today, but I think it closes on the 24th or something. But, you know, all of this has been happening on purpose with intention. Actually, to disrupt and pull you guys out of all of these unloving vibrations that you're stuck in. Literally. The shame, the blame, the guilt. You know, shame is at 20 hertz. You're not supposed to listen. You can't even be in that hertz to survive. It'll kill you. Lowered capital of your energetic bank and operating from that state will kill you. Yes, it will. I know. I was poisoned by my state of being. What do you think caused total organ failure in ICU? It was all of the lowered frequency vibrations of emotions of my totality of life experience that poisoned my body to the core. That's what unloving ways do to you when they're stored in you. And you run on those patterns of repeat until corrected. But the minute you disturb that and reinstall loving ways for yourself, look what you can do. I'm not on dialysis like they told me I would need. I'm still sitting here with my hand and foot that they wanted to amputate. I'm still sitting here able to empower you all and tell you how factually unloving and how conditional you were taught to love really is. Because I've found the unconditional love that's fueling me now. Yeah. There's a lot of things that you need to do to remove the distortions within your state. But it's very possible should you want it for yourself. Yes, I'm a living, breathing testimony of it. I've beat death 7 times in 10 years. All because of the embodiment of universal love and the healing power of it. This is not something that I mind over matter. No, this is spirit over all. Actually. Yeah. And total heart and brain coherence. Back to the state that I was born in. By choice and on purpose with intention. Because this is the most powerful state to be in. Yes, it is. Remaining neutral to life and just grabbing all of the learning to apply the learning and transmute it into wisdom. Yes. Factually. Guys, I encourage you guys to really take a look at the way you love and what you identify as love. Trauma bonds are not love. Codependency is not love. Manipulation is not love. People pleasing is not love. Living by expectation and disappointment is not love. Because every expectation leads to a disappointment. Yes. And you cannot expect others to love you that don't even know what love is. Hate to tell you, but that's facts too. And we go around expecting everybody's capacity to love as our own capacity is, and it's far from it. Just because you have the capacity to love, like perfect example, my capacity to love and unconditionally love is unlike another. I understand that because I've had to use this unconditional love to save my life and heal time and time and time again. This is not just something that I'm saying. It's an energetic force, literally, that runs through you all the time. Now, if you don't feel as powerful and as confident and as outgoing and as ready for the world as you all see me come out as, yeah, you see me with hiccup days. Life shits on us all. But are you able to pick yourself up the next day and allow it to be non-existent for you? Or are you still reliving your yesterdays out of guilting yourself and shaming yourself and blaming yourself and not loving yourself at all by the things that you think, say, and do to your own being? I hear people talk shit about themselves. I hear people talk themselves into the ground, not even realizing they're commanding that to be in their body. And then they sit and complain about the pain. Yeah. That's not loving yourself right. Farthest thing from it. But when you know better, you do better. Guys, you want to love yourself better? Got to take a look at how you're loving yourself. And are you really loving yourself? Or do you not know what it really feels like because you've never felt love all your life? It happened to me. That's why I ask you that. Without me doing the inner work and finding this unconditional love I don't think I would have survived anything that I've survived. Honestly. Factually. That's why I encourage you all to realign with it, because it's fueling you. This is not something that you have to acquire. This is something that you're actually born with, and it fuels your whole existence. And guys, I'm going to talk about expectations leading to disappointments. Every single expectation that you have as an outcome will definitely lead you to a disappointment. And a lot of people say, wow, how's that possible? Well, because your expectation of outcomes leaves you limited to wanting and needing that outcome. So what you imagine it to be will never total what the feeling or sensation that you imagine it to be, that you expect to get out of an experience, a circumstance, an interaction. No, it'll always be different. So don't create expectations to come as outcomes for anything. Don't expect anything. Why? Because the universe has a bigger picture at play all the time. And what you may expect will definitely lead you to disappointment if you're not in alignment with the unconditional love fueling you, making all things possible for you. And that's your truest abundant state. You're as good as your state, and so are your results. So what state are you operating from? Like I said, are you anxious? Are you confused? Doubtful? Do you shame yourself every time you look in the mirror? Because your brain is conditioned to find everything wrong. Why? To keep you safe. Yeah. Love yourself enough to redirect that programming within you to a loving pattern, accepting that people didn't know better when they were training you or when they were living in survival. When they were living in survival, how the hell could they have ever loved you properly? They can't. This is why it's so important to bring people back into the state of unconditional love. Yeah. So that you're not operating out of survival anymore. And what allows society to run on survival mode? I'll tell you. Darwin's theory of survival of the fittest, which is a lie, has everybody conditioned that they must compete and they must be better than and must be the best, but no. It's actually reversed. It's actually, when you're running operational and in alignment with nature and the frequency of unconditional love, it's actually elimination of the weakest. So what does that mean? Lower density vibrations, lowered state of being, lowered frequency produces conflict, chaos, confusion within the body, distortion, misalignment, and what happens? You get sick. Actually, first, it starts with not feeling like you have any energy. Oh, I just don't feel like doing anything. That's how it starts. That's the initial warning sign. Then it leads to really feeling tired and needing to sleep. And then telling yourself you need to sleep. And then getting into a pattern of that. Well, after a couple of days, your body's depressed. What is that depressed? Well, you're in a depressed state of energy that you need to feel fueled and vibrant and get up and go. Clearly. When you're feeling anxiety, well, you're scared of something. What are you scared of? Because it's fear that triggers anxiety. Well, when you're flowing from a state of unconditional love, you know you have nothing to fear. And when you're flowing from a state of unconditional love, you have the get up and go. Look how much energy I have. You guys can't deny that. Like, even after a heart attack, and even with angina, and even with, I could list you a whack of things. There's no excuses in my corner. But what are your excuses? What are all the reasons why you can't love yourself properly? Have you listed those reasons for yourself? Or do you expect somebody else to do it for you like you've been conditioned? That's a big factor too. Or has love become such a threat to your own being and the force of it? Why would that happen? Well, because if unconditional love fueled the totality of your shame, blame, guilt, denial, non-acceptance, judgment, fear, anger, frustration, all of that at once, you'd be dead. Literally. Because of the lowered density frequency. Your organs can't operate on that. No, they can't. And it all starts with that pattern. Well, you got to love yourself enough to notice it. And you got to love yourself to be not distracted from your own being. To feel what's going on with you if you want to correct it. Correction doesn't come from wishful thinking. No, it doesn't. Farthest thing from it, actually. Correction comes with purpose and intent of the acceptance of a correction needed. You have to accept what's going on within you in order to correct it. You must. You must acknowledge it exists to begin with. And half of the people in this planet, they run so unaware of the patterns that they've been installed with, and they are avoiding the accountability that it's stored within them, number one. They avoid the acceptance that it's there. They avoid correction. Well, when you know better, you do better. On purpose, with intention. And you have to allow that unconditionally loving state to flow through you if you want that truest correction. An alignment to the truest, highest potential of the essence of your being. But just think about it. When you're a baby learning to crawl, how many times do you wipe out? When you learn to walk, how many times you fall on your ass? How many times you wipe out? Snap your head maybe sometimes. How many times, like, did that stop you? No, because you weren't thinking about it. You didn't believe, you didn't have trained reactions to things. You didn't have years of watching other people do it and then applying the same things, thinking that was the way to govern your being. These patterns run on repeat and unaware within your being until you change them. Factually. Well, guys, I encourage you all to come and join us. Alpha You Mind Mastery's Empowering You group, because that group is to empower you and to get you back in alignment with the love that's fueling you. And there's so many awesome experts within that group. And, you know, I'm grateful. I'm eternally grateful. And yes, I do literally walk around as a ball of unconditional love. I'm back into the state that I was born into, on purpose, with intention. And the power of that is insane. I'll tell you that right now. Big time. And I'm ready to assist anybody else that wants this for themselves as well. But you got to want it. And you got to literally do the things that are needed to get here. But I can guarantee you it's not as rough as what you've already lived. Releasing it is a lot easier. Yeah. I know my life was tough, but I'll tell you, it's made me one hell of a spiritual warrior and able to support other spiritual warriors that are feeling the conflict, chaos, confusion, you know, back into calmness and clarity, into a vibrant being, living on purpose with intention. That's what I do. Yeah. I'm not only an earth angel, I'm an empath empowered. I'm a light worker. I'm a spiritual wayshower. I've had to master the dark and the light to be able to sit in the neutral zone and literally pull as many souls back into alignment as possible, no matter what side of the fence you're on, whether you're in the light, whether you're in the dark. It's time to get you flowing freely from your state. Yeah. Any of you that want help, I encourage you guys, big time, to come out and join us. Hey, Natalia, thank you so much, Tobi Staples. You know what? I love you and I'm grateful for you, Natalia, and I'm really grateful for our connection. And I'm really grateful you came to the group and you joined. And I'm grateful for your art. Guys, check out Natalia and her art. BNG is her group for exquisite pieces of art. Actually, guys, also to come and join us because she's also in our group. And I'm ready to put her as a jewelry expert in our group for you all. So if she will accept the invite, but I'm going to handle that too. I'm really happy to see you out here. You know, guys, seriously, take it a little seriously when I tell you to love yourself better on purpose. Okay? With intention. Because if you're not loving you right, you can't love anybody right. No, you can't. Because you're loving them through shame, blame, guilt, denial, everything that you've got stored in you, plus your belief systems about love, plus you believing that people are worthy or not of love. Every single person is fueled by love in this existence, no matter what their free will and choice has done. It does not matter. Everybody is worthy of love. We are all fueled by it. Yes, unconditionally. If you were not fueled by unconditional love, you personally would not be here because we have all been installed with patterns that need correction. And we have not made wise choices, and we have sold ourselves short, and we have allowed other people to get away with murder. We have done so much in our life to just be loved, accepted, and approved of. Well, now you need to do that for you. To love yourself unconditionally. Approve of yourself unconditionally. Come out with the confidence. Just as the universe had the confidence in you today to carry out your experience and be a divine expression of universal love, I know you all can do it. Okay? Doesn't matter what you've lived. Because I highly doubt that your CV of life is anything like mine. But that's why I sit here today with no excuse. Embodying universal love and the power of it. Within that power, there is no fear. There's nothing but love. Love is not an emotion. It is your fuel of life. And it loves you unconditionally, no matter what your choice or free will or what you decide. But if you want to be in full power of your being and flowing from it and be in harmony and in balance and have clarity of where you're going, you need to do the work to unconditionally love yourself, no matter what. Big time. Okay? Big time. Natalia, you're amazing. So are you. And I love you and I'm grateful for you. I'm really, really grateful. And you know, I'm excited, Natalia, because in that group, I'm actually, you know, let me talk about it with you all before I close up this live. So this is what I've decided, people. Now that I've opened the community, my lives are going to be for that community. I'm pulling back on my lives out here. If anybody wants the encouragement, they want the empowerment, they want the unconditional love that I flow freely from me, you must come and join us at Alpha E Mind Mastery Empowering You. The link is in the comment. If you want lives, you want to see me, you want to hear the empowerment, you're going to have to come and join the community, because that is the only place I will be going live in the next couple of days. Literally. I'll still come out and do the once a week episodes out here, but I'm going to be focused more on my community that I'm building. There's a lot of great experts that have joined and that are listed as experts for everybody. So we're going to be my target. I've targeted the world. Well, if anybody wants anything from me now, you're going to have to come find me in my community of like-minded individuals that show me love, show me support, that show me encouragement, that show me motivation, that show me that I matter. Okay? But you're all welcome to that too. And that's why I purposely built the community. Yes. Yes. And on another note, I'm going to say something too tonight. It was very difficult and a glitch to my soul to just be told prior to this episode that I just don't charge enough or charge people for my knowledge, and that doing it on a donation basis and doing it on a pay it forward method just doesn't cut it. Well, I'll tell you something. I come out here and I do it for free because I was the one that always got the door slammed in my face for not having the cash for help. That's why I do what I do. I'm able to go without. I've done that my whole life. But I'll ask this, how many others could go without if they were stripped down to nothing today? Not too many. I can. I've just been stripped down of everything in my life. And I'm still able to come out here and do what I do for free. Because I unconditionally love me. And it's not about me. It's about the whole world. I don't need means if I don't, Anyway, I don't regret not charging anybody. No, I don't. And I don't regret forcing anybody to pay me. No, I don't. I never did any of that. I have literally sat here and influenced lives for free. Up-leveled them in ways that they never would have up-leveled in their life had they not encountered me. Have I ever been given anything forward from that? No. But that's fine, because that's not what I'm out here doing it for. I flow from a state of unconditional love. That's my win. My biggest win is to still be alive in this experience. That's my big win. I don't need $1 million. I don't need to be known around the world. I don't need to be in a mansion. For that matter, hey, shit, I've gone months without having my cupboards full. Literally living minimally. I have downgraded even StreamYard without the ability to keep the professional package that I was using for webinars. Yeah. But is it going to stop me? Nothing stops me. And this is the state I would love for all of you to be in. No shame, no blame, no guilt, no denial, and no restriction or boundary or limitation as to another person's capacities or not. I know what I'm capable of, and I don't know another person walking this planet that's capable of what I am. No, I don't. It doesn't make me better than anybody else. But I have yet to see one person with the same capacities that I do. And that's okay too, because I love everybody unconditionally. No, I'm not better than anybody. But I'll tell you something. I do govern myself quite differently than all. Yeah, I do. I govern myself from a state of unconditional love for myself primarily and for all. And everybody's worthy of that, not just the ones that can pay for it. And unfortunately, me having the knowledge that I am and being who I am, yes, I have been denied, with the capacities that I have, entrance to everywhere that should have been given me a bursary or a sponsorship or even a scholarship. Why? Because of the money. Well, some things aren't about the money. Some things are about doing what's right and holding firm to that, because it's not my karma. My karma is coming out here doing what's right, even if it's not easy to do. And I'll tell you something, it has not been easy for me to do. But I'm able, I'm willing, and I'm strong, smart, and capable, and amazing, and beautiful. So within all that, anything's possible. But I don't care what anybody thinks. I really don't. And yes, I built a program over the weekend. But when I looked at the value of that program in comparison to what's out there already, I would have been charging at least 20 grand for it. $20,000. That's what it's really worth. But no. What'll that do for me? More money? So what? That'll move me out of this place. And then what? More bills and more wants, more needs, and then nothing's ever enough. And I get back into that cycle of programming. Nah, I'm not chasing anything, people. And that's the difference with me. I'm not chasing anything in this world because I've found the unconditional love fueling me and the peace within it. And that no money can buy. No. Literally. I encourage you guys all to do the work to find it for yourself and find the peace that surpasses all understanding. Because more than not, you're going to see a lot of people claiming to be awakened and aware, but they are still the farthest thing from it. How do you know? Just listen to them. Listen to what they tell you. Guys, I encourage y'all to love yourself right, because if you don't do that, nobody else will. Because the same way you treat yourself is the same way you train everybody else to treat you. Yes. Actually, you do. So when you're sitting there shaming yourself, well, you're allowing others to do it too, and you deem it acceptable and you tolerate it because you tolerate it because you do it to you. Literally. When you tolerate disrespect, it's because you comply and you do it to yourself. It's me, I don't comply with disrespect. I don't comply with unloving ways, nor do I tolerate any of it because I don't do it to myself. So therefore, I won't tolerate it from another. No, I won't. I know who I am. And I know what's fueling me, which is the unconditional love that I was born with, just like y'all were. If it interests you to get realigned with that and flow from it and be a powerful being with calmness, clarity, and a vibrant state, living on purpose with intention, I invite you to follow Alpha You Mind Mastery page. I invite you to come into the Empowering You group. But most of all, I encourage every single person listening to this to check themselves before they wreck themselves. And that starts with you before anybody else. I'm accountable to the things that I think, say, and do because I flow from a state of unconditional love. So anything that comes out of my mind or out of my mouth is initiated and willed into existence from unconditional love and nothing but. I encourage you all to get to that state. Big time. Okay? Natalia, I love you. And you know what? An interaction with me is life-changing. So I've opened up my Google Calendar. You guys need a 30-minute free meet and greet. You go book it with me. The link is in the comments. Let's get some work done. Let's get you realigned. And we'll figure out your next step. Whatever it is you need. Let's get you back into that unconditionally loving state. Literally. Guys, I thank you for coming out for Alpha E-Mind Masteries United Earth Angels series tonight, episode 19. Looks like you only got one Earth Angel tonight. But hey, next week when we come back out for episode 20, there's a couple of people that have kindly accepted invites onto the episodes with us because they would like to come out and promote. And Natalia, I hope you're going to accept the invite too to come out onto the episode with us and talk about your jewelry and why you make it. And guys, I encourage you all to go check out the NG Exquisite Pieces. Yes. Link me in the DM if you want, and I can send you a link or send you an invite from the group immediately, let me know. Guys, I love you all. Thanks for coming out tonight. But unconditional love is a serious topic. Because when you look at your life, look at whether you are loving things by condition, including yourself. Because if you can't look in that mirror and tell yourself you love yourself and you're amazing and you're strong, you're smart, you're beautiful, and you're capable, without your body jerking and not feeling right, well, then you and I need to book some time together. And that's your truest test. Go into that mirror and look yourself in the eye and tell yourself that, hey, I love you, and see how your body reacts to that. Yeah. See if your brain accepts it as a suggestion or not. That right there is going to tell you how bad you need me in your life. By the reaction of your own body to what I just told you to do. So I tell you, the first time I did that shit, my body jerked, bucked, said, what are you telling me? Because that's the last thing I feel right now. Can't wait to see. I love you all. Set that high vibe, make the magic happen. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for the encouragement. Thank you for everybody coming into the group. Thank you for bringing your expertise. Please, I encourage you all to invite others to the group. All right? And I love you all. Have a great week. Set that high vibe. But yeah, you guys aren't going to see me live too much out here on Alpha E-Mind Mastery or my Facebook page, because I'd like you all to join in the group. And that's where you'll find my lives. But they won't be as long as what I normally do, to respect everybody in the group and their time. There'll be short snippet lives that are very impactful for all. Anyway, guys, I love you all. Have a great night. It's amazing to be out here with you guys. Episode 19 already. And I hope that everything with Andy Jo went well with her daughter. And yeah, I love you all. Thanks again for coming out. And thanks for all of your support and love within that group. I love you all unconditionally, without distortion. Love you all. Have a great night. Peace.